Hello, and welcome to the 19th BOH Cameronian Arts Awards on set. My name is Miriam, and joining me today are the nominees for Best Group Performance in Dance. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And my first question, actually, is for Pei Sin. Could you tell us about the work, The World in the City, and how was the approach to convey the themes of materialism, technology? Yes.
So in terms of choreography, it's a lot of, so Kim's idea is a lot of trying to create chaos within order and order within chaos that's trying to reflect how we experience the world every day, like as a human being, like even our own emotions are like ups and downs. Yeah. So sometimes we are like composed, but sometimes we also influenced by the pace of the world that's like making us feeling chaotic. So mainly A World in the City conveys through that, and also in terms of visual and lightings, it's like very full. So giving that sensations of we are bombarding with things every day.
And how long did it take for the production?
The restage was about 1 year. And then it's actually began because of Cake Project. So Cake Project is like a group of young dancers, and they are proactively approaching Sokim to like, why not you restage your old choreographies, we would love to dance in it. So then that's only when Konsipeta tries to, okay, maybe we can do this together. And so she sees this as like a platform for the new dancers to try to dance something that is created 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
And seeing that, you know, in terms of context and settings, so much has changed in the 30 years. So how much has changed in terms of the restaging?
I think for her, it's a lot of dancers back then. She was training like teenagers, high school students. But now the dancers that she worked with are all experienced dancers. And then we have quite a range from 20s to like, I think 40s or 50s.
Okay.
The most experienced dancer at Gabriel, and our youngest is Audrey.
Yes.
So in terms of the capacity of dancers, they have improved so much compared to back then. And then for creative, also we work with new, like Chihai, and she also assisted by Brian, like they designed the lighting together.
Yes.
And Ix also reinterpret all the costumes.
Yes.
Before that, it's just store-bought, but now it's a costume that connects two pieces together.
Thank you. And what about for, I'm going to butcher the name right now, I apologize in advance, but for Gui Tri Lai Tri, did I say it correct?
Yeah,
Gui
Tri Lai Si.
Okay, correct. Thank you. How did, you know, because it looks into, again, patriarchal society, how did the dancers explore this in your perspective?
So like for Kim, I mean for us, like from surface, it looks a lot of trying to poke at the paternalistic society. But then for Kim, there's also a lot of multi-layer of power balance. Like she uses a male figure, which looks stronger, but a female figure who looks more fragile. But to her, it's more than just gender. It's more of power balance, of hierarchy, how things can interchange.
Thank you. And because you brought up, you know, power balance and you know, not necessarily gender representation, but the power balance between the two, while not necessarily looking at power balances in Anggota, but there is a sense of femininity and, you know, adolescence and going into adulthood and all those kind of things, family dynamics maybe. How did you explore that, and what sort of movements in particular?
I think I was quite intentional because I was focusing on voice of the body, voice of the lineage that live inside me biologically, but also energetically, spiritually. I really decided to make space for, in this case, my body and Bihang's body, which is basically histories of many generations.
Yes.
And how to just give space to allow these two bodies to just be in the space. Also, like one practicality was that Bihang had quite a serious injury. I think it was an accumulative one, and it kind of, at the time that this creation was happening, it was also when she was triggered in her work. So we had a lot of conversation around what to do about it, how to work. And for me, it was always very clear that however the body's condition is, it is worthy of being seen, to be held in that space, to be witnessed.
Yeah.
So I think it was a lot about trusting. Maybe the femininity came from me trusting what is inherent and what is that power and vitality that is flowing through our body in present, and kind of reclaiming what growing up I learned to distrust, I learned to ignore, and learned to dismiss, learned to control, learned to be shameful about. And this was like the reclaiming of I'm exactly where I am, and it's enough.
Yeah. I'm interested because you talked about how you and Bihang both carry not just your bodies in your present self, but also a lineage of bodies and all that kind of things. Was there at any point where you had to reach a point of acceptance that this is my body, this is what I can do, and I'm going to be okay with it? Because as a dancer, we talk about how you got to constantly push and stretch and all those things. Was there a singular moment of acceptance where you went, if any, and if you would?
I know it probably was quite clear for Bihang, especially because of the condition she was in. For me, I think so, definitely, because coming from a professional training which privileges bit young, virtuosic, power, fast, which in reality the body ages and it moves differently. And I was also very interested in making space for what then is the power of this body instead of that privileged standard of young, fast.
Yes.
So, and I believe there is a lot, and it doesn't mean when we age we disappear. And I wanted, also I think it's like a tribute to all the grandmothers. I really wanted to make space for every state of the body, and invite people to witness.
Yeah. And Naim, you were in First Appeal, and your piece looked. How was it like transitioning, between traditional dance to contemporary dance in that? We love it. Okay.
Wait, I kena recall back balik.
Boleh.
No, I mean sebab because I dah train start dengan traditional dulu kan, traditional dances. And then bila I study kat Aswara, so I have to learn contemporary juga. So when we learn contemporary, I feel like contemporary is more like jiwa I tau.
Okay.
So finally I dah found I punya soul macam tu dalam dance kan. So bila kita create this kind of piece, how nak gabungkan traditional to contemporary tu for me is a bit tak cakap susah, not easy, tapi how nak cari tengah-tengah tau, the balance between traditional and contemporary kan, and then how to make it more fresh and more relevant dengan orang sekarang. Sometimes ada orang yang suka tengok traditional je, but bila masukkan elemen content, dia orang rasa macam kenapa you buat macam ni, you merosakkan semua kan. And then bila kita masukkan terlebih contemporary, orang akan cakap, where is the traditional punya part kan. So I nak tengok the essence of benda yang baru kan. So for this piece, how nak masukkan dua-dua tu, nak gabungkan jadi something yang new tu is a bit tricky lah. At the same time, kalau go back balik dengan First Appeal, dia more kepada how nak bagi tahu cerita tentang all this politics happen in Malaysia. But in a context traditional, mixed contemporary semua kan, it's very difficult lah. But how nak bagi tahu the people outside kan, okay, dance is not about you menari saja kan. There's a message behind all the things yang you all tengok kan. So how nak educate how nak educate all these people tentang dance tu supaya you tengok, you boleh faham. Bukan you tengok semata-mata je. Kan you kena tengok dan you faham the context. Macam like you anggota kan. So dia nak terangkan tentang all the body pasal from budak perempuan, from budak tu ke tua or kan, the transition from the transition kan, the transition between all these ages tu benda yang sama juga. So basically dance ini dia kita try to educate.
Why you're getting it. Tak apa, you got it.
Okay je.
Kan? Siapa cakap is educate? Tak apa.
Begitulah. Harap-harap you all faham lah.
Faham. I have a question for you though. Because you said when you started learning contemporary dance, bagaikan jiwa, right? You felt it, that's your soul. But you were trained in traditional dance. So as a dancer, as a being, sebagai Naim, as you witness yourself, your body having to negotiate with what your soul is comfortable with, how was that like for you?
I feel like macam kita hari raya tau. Dia macam, wah macam tu. Okay. Dia sebab kalau kita menari satu benda yang kita tak suka, dia macam puasa tau. Kita lembek je macam tu.
Yes.
Kalau kita dah, I feel like we found kita punya soul tu kan, dia macam, apa? Liberating. Apa orang cakap?
Liberating.
Yeah, gitu,
that's
macam,
it.
oh macam tu.
Yes.
Seronok lah. I feel like macam, okay, this is me, aku dah jumpa aku punya laluan.
Yes.
This is my past. I akan like follow je this one. But at the same time, we have to remember kita punya belakang-belakang ya kan, di mana kita bermula. So we have to remember juga where is our
starting
point.
Yes.
Kan from starting point tu kita develop our own
practice.
Benda macam tu lah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing those things. I have one final question to wrap up. If you were not a dancer, what would you be? And why?
Kalau I tak jadi dancers kan, I rasa tak tahulah.
Okay, you fikir dulu.
I fikir dulu boleh tak?
I'm not a dancer. So maybe I should answer the opposite.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So if I'm a dancer, actually I quite like contemporary. Like it's like so
Why?
expressive, I feel.
Okay.
Like you can express anyhow you want. I feel like, I don't know.
Okay.
You can express anyhow you want through whatever way you like, as long as your message goes through. I think contemporary has that flexibility in it. I really like it.
Itulah I suka contemporary. Kalau traditional tu very macam kontrol, I don't like. I faham. Kalau contemporary kita boleh bebas tau. Kita boleh buat, I mean bukan bebas lah kan. I mean it's free. Kita boleh project apa yang kita rasa time tu. Bukan nak kata traditional tak boleh project, tapi dia very control.
Yes, there's a frame. Yeah, you kena ikut. Yeah.
Kalau bukan dancers kan, I rasa, tak tahulah. I cannot imagine diri I bukan seorang penari. Menari tu adalah I.
You.
Yeah. I tak boleh bayangkan kalau I jadi director macam kat sini kan. Duduk
macam tu.
Cannot.
Cancel, cut, action.
I tak boleh. Cannot.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Actor and chef came to mind.
Wow.
But I also
Okay.
really enjoy teaching and coaching, which I do now.
Yeah.
So yeah, many things. I'll try a lot of stuff, which I am trying now as well. So,
Okay,
yeah.
are you like doing it like chef-wise, acting-wise?
Oh, chef.
Are we
only
going to watch
private.
Rensin makes a debut on theatre? Are we going to...
Debut in theatre.
Yeah, I don't know. Or film, I don't know.
Well, I just started teaching device theatre, so
okay.
I really enjoy that. I think it's not. I mean, dance is a form, and I think body is a first language for me.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy working with people and back and forth. So anything in that nature works for me.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.